This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe on this day. And on this day, May 13th, 1950, a new era in auto racing would begin as Formula One would make it their first ever match. Their first ever Grand Prix was held at Silverstone in England. Still to this day, still of course to this day in Formula One, but it was iconic. It was the first World Championship F1 race, the fifth British Grand Prix, and the first of 7 to be held in the World Championship. There would be 70 laps, and Silverstone had a weird configuration. Anyway, there were some races beforehand, but they were non-championship, meaning they didn't count in the Formula One standings. The Formula One was formed in 1946 with international racing drivers on international circuits, racing automobiles, and all that. In 1949, the FIA, the Federation Internationale de l'Automobile, said that they would do a series. They did the Motorcycle Grand Prix organization. Now they're doing it for race cars. And of course, remember, race cars in 1950 were a whole lot different than 2024. So anyway, they would call it the European Grand Prix, but for British purposes, it was called the British Grand Prix. And all that. So anyway, there would be huge in that. 24 drivers were entered in 22 different numbers. They would assign numbers based on a few things. The biggest absence from the race in 1950 was Ferrari not competing. Enzo Ferrari did not send any cars to Britain because they would wait till Monaco, the famous Monaco Grand Prix, still to this day a mainstay. Due to the small amount of appearance money the organizers were willing to pay him to participate. Anyway, Alfa Romeo looked like they were going to have a good thing. They had the great Juan Manuel Fanigo with Nino Ferreira, Luigi Figoli, and Reg Parnell, and all that. The funny thing was that there was actually a Thai prince and a Swiss baron actually entered in this race, which was weird and all that. So there would be 26. There would be 26 people trying to qualify and all that. Anyway, yeah, Tufel de Gravenreid and Prince Bira of Thailand were the two entrants, if you will. Qualifying took place, and Nino Farina won the pole position with the fastest time in practice, meaning that he got to start off number 1 with Vigoli of Italy and Fanigo of Argentina 2-3. As the Alfa Romeos looked good because they had the top 4 and all that. The Thai prince actually qualified 5th, which was amazing. Prince Bira and Tulo of Switzerland qualified 8th. So the race had happened. 21 drivers from 9 countries at the old Silverstone airport would race. The UK had 9 drivers competing, 4 from France, 2 from Italy, a Belgian, an Irish, someone from Monaco, Argentine, Thai, and Swiss competitor, and all that. 200,000 people would pack Silverstone Airport to watch this race. Farina took the lead as you would because he was the pole stuff and all that. Unfortunately, Juan Manuel Finigo had engine troubles caused by a broken oil pipe and would have to leave the race, which kind of sucks because Finigo was a legend. You know, all that. Unfortunately for the eccentrics, the Swiss Baron de Gravenreid had to retire after 36 laps due to engine trouble, and Prince Bira ran out of fuel after 49 laps. So he was done for. All that. Nino Ferreira took the lead and won by 2.6 seconds over his Italian counterpart Fagioli, with Parnell, the third Alfa Romeo, to finish, taking third. So Alfa Romeo had a 1-2-3 finish. The French team of Talbot Lago Talbot took the next two spots as Yves Giroux Cabotis and Louis Rosier were the guys who went 4-5. There were 11 cars classified as finishing. Bob Gerard of the UK took 6th. Cup Harrison of the UK took 7th. Philippe Tanslin took 8th from France. England's David Hampshire took 9th. Brian Shaw Taylor took 10th from the UK. And Johnny Claes of Belgium took 11th. All classified and all that. So the first ever winner was Nino Farina of Italia. And you may be wondering, how did the 1950 World Championship go? Well, there were 7 races. First race was in Britain, and then the Great Monaco race. You know, the Great Monaco course. The Indy 500 was a World Championship race, which is, of course, iconic. Switzerland had a 4th, then Belgium, then France, and Italia to end it. At the end, Farina, the first ever Formula One race champion, actually won with 30 points. Juan Manuel Finigo took 2nd. And Luigi Fagioli took 3rd. So Alfa Romeo went through 1-2-3, had a 1-2-3 finish. Don't cry for Prince Bira, as Prince Bira actually competed in the Monaco and Swiss races and actually did well. He took 5th in Monaco, 4th in Switzerland. He would retire for the Italian race and would technically take 8th with 5 points. So that's not too bad at all. Lots of people would try to race and all that. And it also was just pure goodness. But a lot of people probably would not have realized how big Formula One is now, almost 75 years later. As we would see great racers like Fanigo dominate the 50s, Jim Clark dominating the 60s before his untimely death. The 70s being wide open, especially that 1976 battle between James Hunt and Niki Lauda, despite Lauda having been ablaze in a race, which is kind of bad. Yet the 1980s with dominance like Mansell, Senna, and then Prost, Gerhard Berger, and a lot of racers as they were trying to get things going in the 80s. The 90s being Damon Hill and Michael Schumacher's coming out party. Jacques Villeneuve was looking good for a couple of years. The 2000s, Schumi dominated until Lewis Hamilton came onto the picture, dominating the 2010s before Max Verstappen has been dominant in the 2020s. So yeah, it started a chain of events which racing fans will love forever and ever. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do